Whoa, we're back here with Travis Mayer. So much positivity, bro. What are you about to do, man?
We about to do 17.5.
Oh, man!
Yeah, we bringing it to you live.
What is 17.5?
You got 10 rounds, 9 thrusters at 95 pounds, and 35 double under.
And where we at?
We're at CrossFit Passion / Training Think Tank in Alpharetta, Georgia. Zip code 3000.
What's the name of the event? The
Training Think Tank Competitors Camp.
What's the station that plays the hits back to back, no commercial free?
Fit Radio.
Travis is not doing 17.5. He's doing a modified version where he's doing 4 thrusters at 155 instead of 9 thrusters at 95 pounds, but then the same format, 10 rounds, 4 thrusters, 35 double unders.
All right, we got the Beefy 17.5 workout. So we got some thrusters and we got some double unders. I've done this workout, I want to say 3 times. And
Not the Beefy version.
Not the Beefy version. The regular version, so what everybody else at the camp was doing was the thrusters and double unders 9 and 35 with 95 pounds. When in the open, I executed that pretty much as close as I could to my full potential and no mistakes, no trip up on double unders. Barbell was really close to the setup where I was at, so the transition point and time was really fast. And in the open, I ended at 6:39, and I want to say it was 12th or 13th in the world. So I kind of didn't, I don't want to say didn't need to, but just kind of didn't want to do that necessarily. I'd rather do kind of a different version. And then at the games in 17, they had the 17.5 version of this with 135, and you had to advance all the way down the floor with the same rep scheme. And that one I actually took second in at the games, and that was executed same kind of thing, pretty flawless. All sets of thrusters were unbroken, all sets of double unders were unbroken. So where we get the Beefy one, we got some 155 thrusters today with some less reps.
So much beef!
So much beef on the bar. With some good old double unders. I kind of was figuring out that the time frame for this was going to be pretty close to what I imagined my first time would be at the lighter weight, just with the shorter rep scheme. But the setup to picking it up, to the little bit of extra energy of not being able to pull the bar down, added some time. But I think I was about 25 seconds faster than I was in the open when we tested this. And so pretty much right before this talk, I want to believe Mike gave a talk on mental toughness, and pretty much all the talks this weekend were on point, really hitting kind of every aspect from training, what you should be doing, how you should be approaching workouts, the mindset you have in the workouts, and what you can do to get better and not make as many hiccups or mistakes per se. But I mean, I think if you guys can come out to one of these and experience it, even if you're not part of Training Think Tank, it's something I definitely think anybody would take away a lot of knowledge from and learn something new. And then hopefully you would understand the importance of a coach and having all different aspects of the nutrition side, the mental side, the programming side, kind of all taken care of, all under one roof. And I think that's the good thing about having everybody at Training Think Tank is there's so many different diverse coaches and individuals teaching everybody that just from what one coach says, someone else might say something different. So I think you always can learn something new and take something away from it.
And we're good at talking shit.
Yeah, the whole time. That's pretty much what this entire weekend between a few of us is all about. And actually at the end of this, what we didn't catch on film is I ended up just working on some kind of open prep, since the open's like 10 days away, is I did a max clean and jerk in the remaining time. So I think this took me like 6 minutes, and the actual time cap for the workout was, yeah, spoiler alert, a little early, is 12 minutes, I believe, or 13 minutes, 12 or 13 minutes was the actual time cap. So in the remaining time, I built up to a tough clean and jerk and ended up hitting 325 at the end of it, which isn't caught on film, but
Well, you didn't
that's
tell me
Chris's.
you were doing it.
That's the cameraman's fault.
Yeah.
And my
Didn't
fault
get
that
the memo.
I didn't tell him, and there's no weights beside the bar to give that away that I am doing that at the end of this workout. And I do want to admit, Harley did a great job judging. Guy really counted, really was solid.
Solid dude.
Solid dude with solid counting. Yeah, so did we already show my heels clicking? Was that already, did I already miss
I
that?
don't think yet.
So in a little bit, you guys will see that I'm like Dorothy, and there's no place like home, and I always click my heels when I double under, and people say, is that on purpose? No, it just kind of naturally happens. I never actually am aware of that happening when I'm doing it. I think this might actually be it. But they always just click together. Is it this? Is it this?
Yeah, here we come, here we go.
Whoa.
Come, baby, come, baby, baby, come, come.
Ah, there it is. And for some reason, my feet always in heels always click together.
Is that ass sweat or are those shorts like different colors?
That's just the lighting.
Oh, okay.
I was about to say, man, I am really sweating there. I was like, it's pretty cold in there. But yeah, every set of thrusters when I'm broken, it definitely is a little bit more challenging because you're having to really drive up on the bar and not at 95 pounds where you can just yank the bar down. You're actually having to put a lot more effort into the actual thrusters. The original plan was to actually take it to 185, and then Max changed that just due to the amount of time he thought was set up and speed and how long he thought it might actually take. So changed it to 155 to keep the time remain roughly the same for that workout. I think I gotta be getting pretty close. 1, 2, get a 3. And if you guys love the intro, we can start doing that more.
No,
You can't? Are you sure?
I can't be that positive.
I mean, I think once a month. I think I'll be bringing some positivity once a month. I feel like this is it. Because I can tell I'm speeding up my double unders. Yep, that was it. I believe 6:09 was the actual ending time of that, since right now, watching this, there's no time to actually see. And this is actually one thing I always try to do is when I'm done with a workout is to not lay on the ground and not collapse into a bad position. And so pretty much me forcing my arms overhead, so I usually have trouble breathing, like sometimes upside down in handstand walks, and just recovering, that I force myself to keep my arms over my head and just take some deep breaths until my heart rate kind of feels like it calms down. And then I kind of walk away after that and, 6:07, not 6:09. And then just force myself out of my comfort zone a little bit there. So I think if you're trying to work on that, that's kind of a good little cue, I think, that has worked for me in the past. So when you finish the finish line at a competition and you see everybody else look like they're dying and struggling, and you just walk off and you take deep breaths, they feel like you're fine. Even deep down inside, you're not. But
So does that mean that on the workouts that you do lay on the ground, you're just truly fucked?
yeah, way too deep
So
into that.
we know that if
Yeah.
Travis is on the ground, he got.
I got.
You got.
I got.
You never heard that?
Got? No.
Oh, man. Hashtag basic white guy.
Hey, that's about it. Dad life over here.
All right, thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks for having me on. Thanks for having me on.
If you're interested in going to a TTT camp, head over to trainingthinktank.com, click on the camps tab. If you don't see any camps, give us your name and email and we'll notify you when the next camp goes live.